Good morning, America. Deadly storms sweeping across the Midwest. Fierce winds reaching up to 100 miles per hour. This car picked up and flipped over on a major interstate. This Ohio neighborhood inundated with floodwaters, cars completely submerged. Ginger tracking the new alerts right now for the hard-hit areas.
Breaking overnight, the nail biter in Wisconsin, the tests in South Carolina, and what happened in Minnesota, the key primaries, and what it all means for November.
The former Marine freed, breaking overnight. After 4 years in a Russian prison, White House officials greeting Robert Gilman on U.S. soil. What went on behind the scenes to secure his release?
Moments of hope in the wreckage. Emergency crews working around the clock as so many search for loved ones after the devastating earthquake. A woman trapped for 36 hours under a collapsed building pulled from the rubble. Hundreds still missing as the death toll keeps climbing. We're live on the scene in Columbia.
Anonymous jury. The major decision for the Luigi Mangione trial. Only the prosecutors and defense lawyers will know who the jurors are. Our legal analyst Dan Abrams breaks it down. And what's next before the accused CEO killer's trial begins?
Mid-air hacking, the investigation into an unauthorized Wi-Fi network popping up during a Delta flight.
Goodbye grades? Why one major university is eliminating first semester scores.
Eyes on the skies for a rare total solar eclipse. Fans of the astronomical phenomenon descending on Blue Lagoon in Iceland to watch the wonder. Maggie Rulli is there live. And will someone's life be changed tonight? The $1 billion Powerball prize still up for grabs. Plus, the customers dancing for a discount. They did not disappoint.
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Wednesday. Good morning, America.
And good morning, America. We're dancing in this Wednesday,
Yes.
right? So, especially for a discount, even better. It's great to have you with us this morning. We've got a lot to cover, including some news on Taylor Swift.
Yes, very big news there. Also, all eyes are on the sky for an incredible celestial event, a total solar eclipse. Maggie Rulli with a bucket list assignment live in the Blue Lagoon in Iceland.
Yeah, she's got the best assignment this morning. Also ahead, we are tracking the moments of hope amid all that devastation after that earthquake in Colombia. Faith Abube is there live as we see some very remarkable rescues on the ground.
But we do begin here with the severe storms on the move. Ginger standing by, tracking the path after the Midwest was hammered overnight with flooding and powerful winds reaching up to 100 miles per hour. First, though, Alex Perez starts us off in Chicago with a look at the damage. Alex, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Wade. Officials believe there were at least 3 tornadoes that touched down. There are massive trees like this one down all across the Chicago area. The storm rolled in and quickly left a trail of damage.
A new line of deadly storms is sweeping across the Midwest. Whoa! Bringing heavy rain, flash flooding, and destructive winds reaching up to 100 miles per hour. Watch as the winds engulf an interstate in Columbus, Ohio, flipping this vehicle on the road. Wind gusts in Columbus reaching 82 miles per hour. A canopy at this gas station blown over. This neighborhood in Perry County inundated with floodwaters, roads disappearing, cars completely submerged. At least one person in the town of Roseville killed due to the storm.
This was an individual who died simply because they had an emergency and they could not get to that individual.
And in Indiana, officials say a home explosion may have been caused by the storm, killing a man. A trail of destruction in a Chicago suburb, roofs torn off homes. A tornado warning prompting an air traffic control tower at Midway Airport to evacuate.
Central Aircraft, we're going to evacuate the tower here shortly. I got you all in a place that you can hold.
Downed power lines across the Midwest, this house catching fire in Frankfort, Illinois. At one point, nearly 1 million customers in Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and Kentucky were without power.
And the cleanup of this mess is now underway. Sadly, a 4-year-old boy in Indiana was killed after a tree fell on his home. Unfortunately, many of the same areas now bracing for more severe weather today. Rebecca?
Yeah, very sad. And you get the sense for the power of that storm with those large trees down behind you. All right, Alex, thank you. We want to bring in Ginger now. And as Alex just said, those areas hard hit. They're going to get it again, Ginger.
Exactly. And to see those numbers yesterday, Sugar Grove, Illinois, with a 97-mile-per-hour wind gust. You don't even need that to take down trees, put them into homes and into power lines and cars. Today, we could easily see 60 to 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And that's why we're concerned in many places. Waking up north of Omaha, Nebraska, the lightning flashing there. You've got severe storms there. Cincinnati, Ohio, starting to see the lightning creep in because, again, we've got these rounds rushing through. On top of the severe threat, we have the flash flooding happening. So Interstate 74 or I-75 closer to Lexington, please be safe if you're out there this morning. This is just the beginning. We have a big day ahead. Some general thunderstorms from Detroit to Cleveland over to Philadelphia today. But the severe stuff, the level 2 out of 5, goes from parts of Nebraska down through Bowling Green, Kentucky. Here's the timing. Chicago gets it again late morning through early afternoon. So that lunch hour, it is going to be potentially destructive into northwest Indiana again. This sinks to the south. Cincinnati gets hit later in the afternoon and tonight. Then back west, you add the threat of not just damaging wind, but also some hail. North Platte, Nebraska, up to Pierce, South Dakota, and the flash flooding. It's sticking around. You could see 2-inch-per-hour rainfall rates, Rachel.
Yeah, not out of the woods yet. Okay, Ginger, thank you. We turn now to politics. Voters headed to the polls on Tuesday for one of the biggest primary nights before the midterm election. Jay O'Brien is in Washington tracking the results. Jay, this was a big test, not only for progressives, but also for the president.
It really was, Rachel. 6 states going to the polls yesterday, but all eyes were on Wisconsin. First off, that Democratic primary for governor there, a major upset overnight that could have serious implications for the future of the party.
Overnight in Wisconsin, an upset for the Democratic Party's progressive wave and a surprise victory for the party establishment. Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong narrowly defeated by the establishment-backed David Crowley. Crowley posting overnight, "Wisconsin, let's get to work," and the state party chair calling for Democrats to come together, writing, "Tonight, Wisconsinites made their choice, and tomorrow Democrats will unite around David Crowley." The primary was a nail-biter, Crowley only beating Hong by a few thousand votes, even as polls showed Hong with a comfortable lead. But many of the country's top progressives distanced themselves from Hong, who previously called to defund the police and in a 2020 since-deleted social media post wrote, "Cancel Thanksgiving," saying it promoted colonialism. She's since said her views have changed.
Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities. And so I think I wanted to make sure that people understood that there are multiple views, but views can evolve.
Crowley, the Milwaukee County executive, will now face off against Republican Congressman Tom Tiffany, endorsed by President Trump. Meanwhile, in neighboring Minnesota, the progressive candidate Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan capturing the Democratic nomination for Senate, a victory for the party's left wing heading into the midterms. And overnight in South Carolina, in a test of the power of Trump's endorsement, Darlene Graham, the sister of the late Senator Lindsey Graham, failed to win more than 50% of the vote in the Republican primary to replace her brother on the November ballot, despite the complete and total support of the president.
I've been accused of not being a politician, guilty as charged. I will spend the next 2 weeks of this runoff meeting with voters and, unlike some politicians, listening to their concerns.
ABC News now projecting Graham will advance to a runoff against Republican Congressman Ralph Norman.
So multiple tests overnight, but it's all really going to come down to who goes to the polls in November. And one more state where the president's endorsement came up short last night was Minnesota in the Republican race for governor. Mike Lindell, a close ally of President Trump's, who backed his baseless claims of election fraud, losing in the Republican primary overnight to the state Speaker of the House, Lisa Demuth. That was the Republican primary for governor. What?
All right, Jay O'Brien for us. We appreciate it. Now to the long-awaited return overnight of a former U.S. Marine who'd been detained in Russia since 2022. Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Raddatz has the details from Washington. Martha, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. He spent more than 4 years in a Russian prison with 6 more ahead of him. But this morning he is back in the U.S. after a welcome home surprise by Trump officials. Overnight, former U.S. Marine Robert Gilman touching down on American soil after 4 years in a Russian prison. His plane met by U.S. negotiator and special envoy Steve Witkoff. Trump official Sebastian Gorka posting these pictures on X showing a gaunt 32-year-old Gilman given Trump paraphernalia, a cheeseburger, milkshake, and a cigar. When he first boarded the plane to freedom, Gilman was covered by an American flag with his mother at his side. His family said after years of horrible treatment in the Russian prison, he became essentially catatonic, unable to eat or respond, and suffering from a severe bout of pneumonia. President Trump posting on social media he had spoken to Russia's President Putin, and soon afterward, Gilman was given a pardon on humanitarian grounds. Gilman was accused of kicking a Russian police officer at a train station while intoxicated. Gilman said he had fallen ill, and police hit him with a baton while on a visit to extended family. He was sentenced to 10 years behind bars.
When Robert was detained, it broke my heart. I just thought about how hard it was for him to be there and what he was going through.
Born in Poland to Russian immigrants who settled in Massachusetts, where Gilman gained U.S. citizenship, the family thanked President Trump and his team, as well as Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey, for helping with his release. Gilman will be treated at a military hospital in Texas for physical ailments and for the emotional wounds he had to endure. Guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome home to him. All right, Martha, thank you. We turn now to the rescue efforts. After that massive earthquake in Colombia, there may be thousands under the rubble there, and Faith Abube is on the scene. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Rebecca. There's really no rest for the weary here in Cali. What you're looking at behind me used to be a 5-story building, much of it residential. These are apartments. Right now, they're asking for quiet at the scene because they want to hear whether there are survivors.
This morning, dramatic scenes out of Colombia as rescue efforts enter their 3rd day after that devastating earthquake. Emergency crews working around the clock in a race against time to find survivors. A woman pulled from the rubble after being trapped for 36 hours under a collapsed building. Rescuers also saving this man buried under a giant slab of concrete. People here clinging onto these moments of hope, as officials say thousands of people are still missing, including 239 believed to be trapped beneath the rubble in hard-hit Cali.
And we're in the middle of an army of community volunteers who have been digging through this rubble nonstop with their bare hands and buckets.
The death toll rising, at least 224 killed after that 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck Monday, toppling buildings, crippling roads, and damaging health centers in multiple cities. The president of Colombia sworn in just last Friday, saying more than 1,600 homes across the country collapsed.
They've been working on that entrance for about 2 hours now. So, and his family, he said his family's here right now.
You're still looking for your family? And this is all of you guys together. How many of them are missing from this photo?
Mi prima Manuela, mi prima Ángela.
¿En piensas que ellos están ahí? And this has been emotional, painstaking work here at the scene here in Cali, but there have been moments of hope. More than 80 people have been rescued so far. A lot of these volunteers have not gotten any sleep. In fact, I spoke with one of them. He's been here since 6 o'clock last night, and he's still here. And so they're quiet right now, trying to see if they can hear someone beneath this rubble. A mountain of concrete and steel they're having to dig through with their hands, trying to get to survivors. And that window, that critical window, is closing in right now where they can be able to find those survivors. Rebecca.
Incredible just to see you there, Faith. Thank you for doing this for us. Rachel?
Really remarkable reporting. Okay, Rebecca, we're going to turn now to the details about the secret operation to get President Trump out of Turkey last month as he faced Iranian assassination threats. This morning, President Trump is now directly addressing the incident. So let's go to Chief Washington correspondent John Carl with what we're now learning. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Rachel. We're learning new details about that extraordinary step that President Trump took to sneak onto another Air Force jet and leave the original Air Force One as a decoy.
Overnight, President Trump answered questions about the clandestine plane switching ruse used to keep him safe from a potential assassination attempt from Iran. The president said it was the Secret Service and the military that made the call to sneak him onto a different plane as he left the NATO summit in Turkey last month.
It's only up to Secret Service. I just follow what they'd like to do. So I go by Secret Service and the military. They wanted me to go on a different flight, a different plane, equal safety, but they wanted me to do it, so I do it. I do what they say.
The New York Times reports that U.S. officials feared the Iranians had information on Trump's whereabouts in Turkey and that they could target his plane with a surface-to-air missile. As President Trump was moved to another plane in a catering truck, the traveling press and most of his staff remained on the now decoy Air Force One, including Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Sources tell ABC News that both Bessent and Rubio knew that Trump had been taken off the plane because of a serious threat. Many others on the plane, however, had no idea what was going on. Overnight, Trump was asked about the threat to those that remained on what had been Air Force One.
I think actually the plane that I flew on was at greater risk. I think it was at greater risk because that would be the plane I think that they would be more likely to go for.
And now Democratic leaders are demanding to know more about what happened. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer is asking the White House for a briefing on the threats from Iran, including whatever it was that prompted those extraordinary measures taken to get the president out of Turkey. Whit?
Really something. John Carl at the White House, thank you. Now to a big change coming to a major university, all in the name of mental health for incoming freshmen. Will Reeve is here with the details. Will, we were talking about this, getting a lot of attention, this decision.
It really is. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. So the University of Michigan is getting rid of some final grades for the sake of students' mental health. The university announcing it's dropping first semester grades in an effort to, quote, curb the mental health crisis faced by many young college students. This is a pilot program. It's set to roll out in fall 2027. It applies to students enrolled in the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts. So that's about half of Michigan's roughly 8,000 first-year students. Now, class results will be displayed as either pass or no credit on transcripts, and students will still receive grades in the class as the semester unfolds, but final grades will not be recorded. And Michigan is one of the largest universities in the United States. It has over 35,000 undergraduates, and the school says the program will allow a smooth on-ramp as freshmen accelerate from high school into a more rigorous college curriculum, and it'll give students a chance to refine their academic skills and build early momentum. Now, Michigan declined further comment, but did tell ABC News that they will, quote, have more details to share this fall as faculty, staff, and students in the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts continue to inform the design, development, and implementation of a pilot program.
Just a few years too late for me.
Exactly. Yeah. We all would have been great.
That would have been nice. Sure. Yeah. Will, thank you. Yeah. Okay, if you're dreaming of becoming an instant billionaire, it is very much alive after tonight's Powerball drawing was increased to $1 billion. And Sophie Flay, you showed us what it looks like to have all this money, but here, break it down for us. What are the odds?
Yeah, good morning, you guys. Well, this will be your anthem.
Oh, that's what your walkout music.
Right, that'll be your walkout music. If you were the winner of tonight's Powerball jackpot, the jackpot is currently standing at $1 billion. It is the 8th largest in history and the largest lottery jackpot offered this year so far in the U.S. Now, it's been growing since May, and it's not because people aren't playing. Those $2 ticket sales have soared. So let me put this into perspective for you. For a $20 million jackpot on a regular Monday night, there's an average of about 7.5 million tickets sold. In this past Monday night's drawing, 47 million tickets were sold, so about 6 times the typical amount, according to the Multi-State Lottery Association. So why has no one won? Well, because the odds are 1 in more than 292 million, as we end up always saying, yeah, they're not great. And if you do win the lump sum cash payout, it is $433 million. The next drawing is tonight.
Wow. Okay, got a chance.
Get those tickets.
So is
Take
this
the
your
lump
walkout
sums.
music that you chose?
Of course I chose that.
got
They kept it rolling the whole time,
When you pick up the check, it's that music.
We love Abby
I
here.
like
Keep
it.
the hope
Thank you.
alive.
All right, coming up on GMA, the new study on the link between belly fat and heart issues. Our Dr. Tara Narula, a cardiologist, breaks down the new numbers to watch and the key measurements you need to know.
Also ahead, Rod Stewart sharing some health news, forcing him to cancel concerts.
And a new twist in the Luigi Mangione case with his murder trial just weeks away, why a judge says the jury has to remain anonymous. Dan Abrams joins us live. He's going to break that all down. But
Coming up here on GMA, we have some stunning news about Americans' credit card debt now topping $1 trillion, but we do have ways to save. We'll tell you about money maxing.
Plus, take a look at this. Dozens of sharks spotted by a drone. We'll tell you where.
And Maggie Rulli, best assignment in Iceland, as a massive crowd gathers for the total solar eclipse.
Welcome back to GMA. It's been a great summer for Taylor Swift. Yep, 1 month after tying the knot to Travis Kelce, Taylor is setting yet another music record. We're going to tell you all about that in pop news coming up here. She's always having a good one, right? It's Taylor Swift. And we're always having a good one when we turn to you, Will Reeve. 7:30 a.m. headlines.
Hello, good morning again. Here is what's new at 7:30, beginning with state police in Idaho revealing the name of the off-duty trooper who confronted the gunman who killed 3 people at that In-N-Out restaurant more than a week ago. The hero trooper identified as Specialist Steve McLean. He's a 12-year veteran of the Idaho State Police. And an investigation is underway following a cybersecurity incident aboard a Delta Airlines flight into Atlanta on Monday. An unauthorized Wi-Fi network popped up mid-flight, prompting crew to deactivate the Wi-Fi for 30 minutes. The FAA says the so-called evil twin attack could expose passengers to possible data theft, but they say any breach of the Wi-Fi would not jeopardize the plane's flight safety systems. And take a look here at the waters off Long Island. Dozens of sharks spotted by drone. Look at them just cutting their way through that massive school of fish. The photographer said there were more than 50 sharks plowing through that school of fish. He said it felt like he won the lottery. And the Chicago White Sox honored one of their arguably most famous fans, probably the most famous, with a special Pope hat giveaway at Rate Field last night. Over 40,000 Pope hats were scheduled to be distributed to the sold-out crowd in honor of Pope Leo. Outfielder Brenton Doyle hitting a home run. That's his first for the White Sox. He takes it to left center, and his home run celebration naturally would be to put on a Pope hat in the dugout. But
as one does.
Here's what stole the show: the ceremonial first pitch, which was thrown by Sister Mary Jo Sobiek of the Dominican Sisters of Springfield. She's got an arm.
She's got an arm.
From the rubber, too. Like
she
up
brought her
on the
own
mound.
glove.
Yeah.
And you got to bring your glove to a baseball game. Come on
Good
now.
point. Good
Bring
point.
the mitt. Catch the fly ball.
And the
Thank
wise
you,
words
Will.
of ESPN, oh, holy night. That's what they called it. It's a good
Well
one.
done. Okay, thank you, Will. We're going to go now to the accused healthcare CEO killer, Luigi Mangione, appearing in court yesterday with his September murder trial now just weeks away, and the judge ruling that the jury in the high-profile case will remain anonymous. Dan Abrams is standing by with legal analysis, but first, Matt Rivers is here with the latest. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. It wasn't long after Luigi Mangione left court yesterday that the judge laid out that ruling, telling the public they will not know the identities of the men and women chosen to serve on the jury in Mangione's state murder trial. This morning, in a dramatic move, a judge declaring that the jury will be anonymous in next month's state murder trial of accused CEO killer Luigi Mangione. The new ruling from Judge Gregory Caro, a clear sign of just how high profile the case has become. The judge writing in his order, the jury could face harassment, intimidation, or improper outside influence, citing disruptions outside the courtroom in recent months as evidence, adding that only the prosecutors and defense lawyers will know who the jurors are. Mangione appearing before a packed courtroom for a pre-trial hearing Tuesday, handcuffed, dressed in a gray suit and white shirt. The 28-year-old is accused of shooting United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in an assassination-style killing back in December 2024. He has pleaded not guilty. The hearing was short, lasting just 20 minutes. The defense requesting to broadcast the trial live, something not typically permitted in New York State court, but the judge dismissing the idea. The judge also telling both sides to work out the questionnaire that will be presented to prospective jurors when jury selection begins just after Labor Day. The defense team leaving the courtroom hoped the judge would further expand public access to the trial.
I think there should be 2 phones, but I'll take one.
Since his initial arrest, Mangione has amassed legions of fans, many showing up to court and the surrounding streets. For them, he's a cult hero who stood up to health insurance industry abuse. To others, he shot an unarmed man in the back, killing a husband and father in the process. Mangione capitalizing on his support, raising more than $1.5 million for his legal defense fund so far. Now, jury selection is set to begin in this trial September 8th. Security outside the courtroom also expected to be very tight. I think we can expect it to be quite the scene.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that. Matt, thank you for that. Let's bring in ABC News Chief Legal Analyst Dan Abrams to break this all down. Dan, good morning to you. Let's start with this anonymous jury. How unusual is that?
Very unusual. I mean, look, typically this would happen in cases like a mob case or a drug kingpin case where they were concerned about the safety of the jurors from the defendant. This is a little different. But in the last 5 years, we've seen a number of high-profile cases. I mean, think about it. The case where the woman who sued Donald Trump, E. Jean Carroll, the jury was anonymous. R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell. So it has happened recently where judges have decided to make sure that that jury is anonymous, but still, it doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't, Dan, but you mentioned the mob. There are huge groups of people, influencers, already standing outside of that court case. The defense is asking for overflow rooms for people to watch. Why keep the people anonymous, the jurors anonymous in this case?
Yeah, I think that their judge is concerned about potentially influencing the jurors. I mean, this is a case where it's not just that people are interested in the case, they're interested in the outcome. And I think that's of particular concern to a judge in a case like this. So many people so passionate about what the outcome ought to be. And as a result, he wants to do everything he can to protect these jurors and protect the sanctity of the process. And that's why I'm not that surprised, even though it is incredibly unusual that this became one of those rare cases.
Yeah, it is rare, Dan. So explain exactly how this process is going to work. And if the jurors are anonymous, do they have to be sequestered?
Right. Good question. Two separate issues, right? Anonymous means who knows what the names and home addresses are, et cetera, of these jurors. Sequestered would mean that they are literally during the trial staying at a hotel for the entirety of the 4, 6, 8-week trial. I think that is still unlikely. Why? Because you are then going to be narrowing the jury pool significantly to only people who could stay and serve in a hotel, not go home for 6 to 8 weeks. I think that's still unlikely, but it is the possibility that during the process itself, right, during deliberations, even before deliberations, if something happened where the judge became concerned, the judge could say, okay, I'm going to sequester now, but a different issue from keeping the jury anonymous.
Another interesting development in this fascinating case. Dan Abrams, as always, we appreciate it. And our colleagues at 2020 just launched a 5-part podcast on Luigi Mangione. Search Burden of Proof, Luigi Mangione, wherever you get your podcasts.
Skywatchers getting ready to watch a spectacular show, a solar eclipse. It will only be partially visible right here in the United States. So that's why we had to send Maggie Rowley to Iceland, where she will watch it for all of us in all of its glory. Maggie, I got to tell you, all of us here at the desk are very jealous about this assignment. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we have traveled all along the upcoming path of totality here in Iceland, and let me tell you guys, they are gearing up and ready, excited to experience this rare, once-in-a-lifetime cosmic event. And I have to say, there's probably no better place to wait for an eclipse than right here in the Blue Lagoon.
For the first time in centuries, Iceland's iconic Blue Lagoon, named one of Nat Geo's wonders of the world, lies directly in the path of totality.
It's definitely a historic moment because this is the first time since 1433 that the moon's umbral shadow touches upon this area. So we haven't seen this visual spectacle and this experience for 593 years.
Here, people will see that rare moment when the moon aligns perfectly with the sun, casting a shadow over the Earth. Starting in northern Russia, the solar eclipse will pass over a mostly uninhabited area of Greenland, crossing directly over the western edge of Iceland before making its way to Spain and Portugal just before sunset. In 2024, millions in the U.S. got to experience the phenomenon up close in what was known as the Great North American Eclipse. Yes! Our Robin and Whit Johnson witnessing it together in Cleveland.
Oh.
Now, about 80,000 people are gambling on Iceland, including Americans who didn't get to experience it at home.
I missed the eclipse in the U.S., so we wanted to come here and see it.
For Terry Barnhart and her group of 7 friends from Colorado, this was a bucket list trip years in the making.
How long ago did you plan this trip?
Oh, it's been 2 years, and we got this trip, and then it filled up within the week.
We traveled to the very tip of this rural peninsula to find the party is already underway at the Iceland Eclipse Festival.
We have people from 75 countries around the world.
There's just so much science happening. And what I love is it's an opportunity for us all to come together and experience the awe and wonder of the world around us.
All right, guys, well, as I get ready to experience totality here at the Blue Lagoon, don't worry, you're going to partially experience it back in the States as well.
Let's take a look at this map right here. These cities here will get to see a partial solar eclipse today in the U.S. And a reminder, if you do want to look up there, you'll want to use these special glasses, of course, that you need to protect your eyes. That's not all today. There's also something called a planetary parade happening with 6 planets lined up in the sky.
Wow.
And tonight will be the peak of an unbelievable annual meteor shower.
Okay.
So definitely worth getting out there and checking it out. Yes.
And
yeah, the partial here on the East Coast.
And I remember you at the last eclipse, you marked this date on your calendar.
I said I was going to go. And
well, here you are.
I
You can see it partially. Partially.
Maggie's watching it for us, though. Now we're going to play of the day. And what would you do to get a 20% discount on gas for your car? Take a look at this. If you stopped at the Sunoco in Half Moon, New York, just show them your best dance moves like these folks right here.
Sure.
So there's no music playing in the store, so you just have to let the music fill your soul, right?
In my head. Don't worry about it.
There you go. Some folks, shaking their hips, others flapping their arms with a little Running Man and a twist right there, giving their best effort.
Serious.
Store Employees Day, it's all about making people smile. The promotion went live last week, and the video already has more than 7.6 million views on TikTok, of course. Viewers loving the folks just being silly, brightening their day. One person writing, I kind of want to take a road trip just to bust a move here.
I think we should.
There's
20% gas.
Wit's always got the moves.
Yeah.
Speaking of them and dancing, the mother-son duo on Dancing with the Stars, the next pro, Mark Ballas and Shirley Ballas, here live. Stick around.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Deadly storm sweeping across the Midwest. Fierce winds reaching up to 100 miles per hour. This car picked up and flipped over on a major interstate. At least 3 tornado reports. This Ohio neighborhood inundated with floodwaters, cars completely submerged. Ginger is tracking the new alerts right now for the hard-hit areas.
New study about the connection between belly fat and your heart. The new study revealing how certain body measurements could help predict cardiovascular risk. Dr. Narula, a cardiologist, breaks down the findings.
Money maxing, the social media trend taking off as inflation eats away at Americans' income, how you can maximize your savings and spend less. The first step, find out about the scroll test.
And order up.
Wow, look at this.
We're at the next stop in our delicious diner tour across America. This morning, it's all about fusion, nostalgia, and family. Wait until you see what they're cooking up. As we say,
Good morning, America!
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Wednesday. Good morning, America.
And good morning, America. Great to start the day with all of you. How good does that food look? Where Becky Worley is, we can smell it from here. Hey, Becky.
Hey, wait, you know what? When people think of Texas and Houston, they think of maybe Tex-Mex or barbecue, but the food scene here is so much more diverse. I'm serving up crab rangoon and a sambal honey waffle and all kinds of stuff. Stay tuned, you guys. The food is insanely good at this Asian fusion restaurant.
Oh, yeah, we know they're going to be digging in right now. All right, and take a look at this double take. Cindy Crawford and Richard Gere on a 1992 Vogue cover, and now in 2026, Cindy's daughter, Kaya Gerber, and Richard's son, Homer, are together once again on that cover. We're going to have much more about that moment and the young stars of the Shards just ahead.
It is uncanny looking at those two photos side by side. Also this morning, Americans' credit card debt is approaching record levels, more than $1 trillion, according to the Federal Reserve. And we're going to look at what this means for the growing number of people who are behind on their payments. And we do have some help for that as well.
Important information. But first, a look at the top stories breaking at 8, starting with Ginger tracking the severe storms after the Midwest was hammered overnight with flooding and powerful winds. Ginger, good morning once again.
Good morning, Whit. At least, 415 severe reports that were wind damage only. Look at this. Columbus, Ohio, on Interstate 71. We highlight it there where a vehicle is flipped by the thunderstorm. In Indiana, a young boy, a 4-year-old, was killed when a tree fell into his home. There was flash flooding from Indiana back to Illinois. And in South Dakota, that trooper walks out and thankfully is okay after that lightning bolt way too close. Every state I just mentioned has a chance at getting more severe storms again today. It's already happening this morning. It just moved east of Omaha. There's a brand new severe thunderstorm watch. Davenport's getting slammed this morning. Moline in line, Peoria, Ottawa, Pontiac, Illinois, just south of Chicago until 1 p.m. And then the atmosphere is just like bleeding rain from flash flooding possible along I-74 Indianapolis to Cincinnati and west of Lexington on I-75. It's messy out there, y'all. And from Nebraska and South Dakota later tonight to today in the area that I just highlighted that includes St. Louis, Indianapolis, and Louisville, Rachel, we have damaging wind again, easily 60 to 75 mile per hour gusts.
Yeah, so many on alert. Okay, Ginger, thank you. We turn now to one of the biggest primary nights before the midterm elections. Let's go back to Jay O'Brien in Washington, tracking the latest on the results overnight. Jay, again, this was a really big test for progressives and the president.
It really was, Rachel. Good morning again to you. And Democrats in Wisconsin this morning are calling for unity after a major upset that could spell trouble for the party's progressive wave ahead of November.
Overnight in Wisconsin, an upset for the Democratic Party's progressive wave and a surprise victory for the party establishment. Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong narrowly defeated by the establishment-backed David Crowley. Crowley posting overnight, "Wisconsin, let's get to work." The primary was a nail-biter, Crowley only beating Hong by a few thousand votes, even as polls showed Hong with a comfortable lead. But many of the country's top progressives distanced themselves from Hong, who previously called to defund the police and in a 2020 since-deleted social media post wrote "Cancel Thanksgiving," saying it promoted colonialism. She's since said her views have changed. Crowley, the Milwaukee County executive, will now face off against Republican Congressman Tom Tiffany, endorsed by President Trump. Meanwhile, in neighboring Minnesota, the progressive candidate Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan capturing the Democratic nomination for Senate, a victory for the party's left wing heading into the midterms. And overnight in South Carolina, in a test of the power of Trump's endorsement, Darlene Graham, the sister of the late Senator Lindsey Graham, failed to win more than 50% of the vote in the Republican primary to replace her brother on the November ballot, despite the complete and total support of the president.
I've been accused of not being a politician, guilty as charged. I will spend the next 2 weeks of this runoff meeting with voters and, unlike some politicians, listening to their concerns.
So Graham coming up short despite that endorsement of the president. She'll now advance to a runoff against Republican Congressman Ralph Norman. That's going to be in 2 weeks, Rebecca.
All right, Jay, thank you. We're going to go now to credit card debt in the U.S. It's on the verge of reaching a record high. And Elizabeth Schulze has the latest on the figures from the Federal Reserve. A lot of people feel this out there, Elizabeth, but now we see it showing up in the numbers. Good morning.
We are really seeing this. Good morning, Rebecca. As prices go up, Americans' credit card debt is rising too. A new
new report from the New York Fed finds Americans collectively owed $1.26 trillion on their credit cards from April through June of this year. That is just shy of the all-time high that was set at the end of last year. In a potentially worrying sign, nearly 13% of all credit card balances are now overdue by 90 days or more. Typically in a healthy economy, we do see people spending more, putting purchases on their cards, but higher prices are also taking a toll here. The government just released its latest inflation numbers. You can see where those price hikes are showing up the most. Gas prices and airfares surging more than 20% in the past year. A lot of that because of higher oil. Other costs like electricity bills, daycare, preschool, medical care, groceries, also higher. The big picture, consumer spending has been resilient this summer, but there are clearly some signs of stress, guys.
Yeah, definitely taking its toll. Elizabeth, thank you. Coming up in our GMA morning menu, Dr. Narula is here to talk about what a new study reveals about body fat and heart disease, why a common number used to assess your health might not be telling the whole story.
Also ahead, you hear it, Taylor Swift is heading back to her country roots in Nashville, preparing to honor the singer in a big way. How it even set a new record.
Good summer for Taylor. Plus, no rehearsals, no choreography. Mark and Shirley Ballas are dancing their way into the GMA hot seat. And Tori Johnson is here with deals and steals. Tori, what do you got for us this morning?
Oh, we got a lot, Rachel. Let's go on a summer adventure this morning. It's all about outdoor fun, from hummingbird feeders to lanterns to cooling towels and so much more. Everything is half off. That's coming up right here on GMA.
Back now with our GMA cover story and a new study that says abdominal fat may be a better predictor of your heart disease risk than your BMI or body mass index alone. BMI is the number commonly used to assess if you're at a healthy weight, but this study says it could be missing key information. And our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Tara Narula, is here to break it all down. You're a cardiologist. First of all, what do you make of this, and what have we learned from this study?
I'm really glad we're talking about this because traditionally we talk so much about body mass index. In my office, every day we take blood pressure, heart rate, temperature, and BMI, which is your height-weight ratio, and we tell the patients about it, and it informs them of their cardiovascular risk. However, the new research really suggests that that's just not enough. Body mass index doesn't tell us about fat versus lean mass. It doesn't tell us about the distribution of the fat. So what might be a better marker, Whit, is central adiposity, or fat around the belly area. We know that that seems to tell us much more about cardiovascular risk and be additive to body mass index. In fact, that visceral fat, the fat around your organs as opposed to the sub-Q fat under your skin, we know is really a big problem in terms of causing metabolic dysregulation, inflammation, increasing your blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol. So in this study, researchers looked at about 260,000 individuals. They looked at 9 different cardiovascular outcomes, things like heart attack, stroke, and they followed them for 20 years. They measured their BMI, but they also measured their waist circumference and their waist to hip ratio, those markers of central fat. And so they found that those markers of central fat really added to risk classification, whereas the body mass index alone misclassified people. So to give you an example, in the study, if someone had a normal body mass index, about 18% of those actually had a high waist to hip ratio, which meant that over time they were at increased risk for those cardiovascular outcomes, 9 of those. On the other hand, those individuals who had obesity, actually 45% had a low waist to hip ratio, which meant that they probably were not as at high risk as you would expect. So it tells us we really should be adding this into how we inform patients in the office using those waist markers.
Yeah, it sounds like 1 in 5 of the people were at a higher risk than the BMI would have indicated. And you can actually do something at home to figure out if you fall into this group.
You can measure your own waist circumference and waist to hip ratio. So you basically want to do it without clothes on, take a flexible tape measure at the highest point of your hip bone around your waist, that's your waist measurement, and then for your hips, around the widest part of your hips. And you can obviously divide those and get your ratio. Your waist circumference, if it's elevated, we say it's more than 35 inches for women, more than 40 inches for men. For that waist to hip ratio in this study, it was more than 0.85 for women and more than 0.9 for men.
Okay, so you take out your tape measure. You actually do this yourself. Yes. If your numbers are high, what do you recommend?
You should definitely talk to your doctor about that. Also about your other cardiovascular risk factors. We can't say enough, leading cause of death. So know your other numbers. Talk about how to get screened for heart disease. But really important, actually, more for the medical practice, that we start putting this into how we assess patients routinely. It's just not common right now.
And it's also a great tool for people at home. They can keep track of it themselves without having to do one of those scans. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you, doctor. We appreciate it as always.
Are you ready for this? We are going now in our next stop in our series, Order Up Diners Across America. And Becky Worley is on a cross-country adventure to find the best diners in the country. And this morning, she's at a very special place, putting their family spin on the classics. Becky, I love that you're multitasking here, serving and reporting.
I am, and this is a dream assignment, Rebecca, because I'm here at Agnes and Sherman Diner in Houston, Texas, and the main ingredients here are family, fusion, and nostalgia. That's because they're taking classic diner fare and combining it with Asian American flavors. Can you say cheeseburger fried rice for breakfast? Yum.
I take 2 steps forward, I'll take 2 steps back.
Remember that old saying? Well, here at Houston's Agnes and Sherman Diner, that kind of mashup is happening right on your plate. Cheeseburger and fried rice? Check. A waffle, but savory? Check. It's all the brainchild of executive chef Nick Wong.
Wow, look at this.
Who named it in honor of his parents, Agnes and Sherman. This Asian American diner, a love letter to his upbringing that melds together different cultures and experiences, now represented on his menu and adored by his regulars.
They serve the most delicious and nostalgic comfort Asian food.
When you go to Agnes and Sherman, you're going to have things that are fun, things that are different.
The menu features items like rice cakes and shrimp toast, mixed in with favorites. That cheeseburger fried rice made with American cheese and sesame seeds, plus a special sauce. And the crowd favorite, their scallion waffles. A sweet and savory delight served up with homemade sambal honey butter. Yum. This is such a unique place, and I'm here with Chef Nick Wong and co-owner Lisa Lee. And just tell us about, let's start with Nick, tell us about the cheeseburger fried rice.
Cheeseburger fried rice, it's 2 classic flavors that you know and love, but just kind of mashed together in a kind of different format.
It's Big Mac.
Yeah.
It is the sauce, the sesame, oh, it's amazing. Lisa, what about the shrimp toast? And it's savory and sweet, right?
It is, yeah. So this is our shrimp toast with candied pecan. And some of this lettuce here, Chef Nick recommends taking some of that lettuce with each bite, and it's not just for decorative purposes. Amazing. It's one of our favorite dishes here.
The waffle with scallions and sambal honey, the crab rangoon, that was amazing. I could eat that all day long and late into the night. You guys have done amazing things creating fusion for Asian food in Houston. And tell your story. You guys started as business partners and friends, and now you're engaged?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we actually met junior year in college. We went to UC Berkeley in the Bay.
Okay.
And he left for culinary school in New York. I went on to, pursue my career. Kind of stayed friends, became best friends. Then we were like, let's open a business together. And I think it's safe to say that this restaurant kind of made us fall in love. Aww. And now we are engaged. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in love with your food and your story. Guys, what an amazing experience to be eating Asian fusion food for breakfast in Houston. Come on.
What a love story for us, Beck, this morning. Where are you headed to next?
Up next, I am running to a plane and going to Biddeford, Maine, outside of Portland, where they have a world-famous, get this, tuna melt. Who knew the tuna melt could have a viral hit success? But we're going, so I got
big fans right over here, Beck. Thank you so much, and congratulations to the couple. We can't wait to, get all the wedding details when they happen. Rachel.
But now we're going to turn to some deals and steals. Tori Johnson, of course, is here. And Tori, you've had so many fun products this week. We're talking about summer adventures, and we can't wait to see what you have
for us this morning.
I
Outdoor
don't have
fun.
food for you, but I do have art and lighting. And this is Maji. So you've got right here, that is an origami lantern. Isn't that so cool? So
I love how the lights went down for us.
Look at that. It takes up no space for storage.
Yes,
It's rechargeable. So that's a really fun one. And we've got, of course, all of the new Halloween patterns. And then these I love. These are luminary lanterns. Take these little tea lights, Rachel.
Yeah.
And you can pop them right here into the water.
Okay.
These also, and look at that. You get this like great illumination. Add a little ambiance anywhere. And they, again, store completely flat. You just add a little water in there and you've got your decor ready to go.
Oh, Ginger, the kids would love these.
It's really fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Ginger approved and 50% off.
All right.
Okay, another great one. Great
for the meteor shower.
Yes.
Speaking
Okay,
of which.
so we've got binocular scopes. This is all about bird watching as well as landscape observation. Look at these. These are like some serious binoculars that I've got for each of you. And they all have unbelievable benefits added into them. So we're talking about
Brad's skin looks good.
There you go. Advanced stabilization, so you get to see like a crisp, clear, still picture. Really clear vision on these, magnification, brightness. We also have trekking poles if you're out there exploring nature. All of these from Alpine Optics. 50% off plus on these.
Free shipping?
You
There
got
it
it.
is.
Yes,
Even
you
the
got
poles.
It.
Okay.
Yes, even the poles. Shake it cool. So we've got cooling teas and cooling towels. So you'll see that we put this in water, you wring it out, and then it activates that cold in the fabric. That's great around your neck. It's great after working out, camping, gardening. I see you sweating out there in the garden.
I do in the garden. I could use this.
After the gym, keep that in your bag. That's a great one. And then we also have their cooling towels. Like just feel how just to the touch, it's cooling fabric as is. So this is going to help keep your body a little bit cooler. It's a breathable mesh, super lightweight to wear. You can wear these year round. Anytime you're feeling a little warm, these are for you, and they're all 50% off.
And sun protection.
Yes, and sun protection built in. Okay, I love the ability to get a tan without going into the sun, not a damaging tan.
That's your body's new BFF.
There you go. Your body sound like that too. So this is Lux Unfiltered. This is like one of their signature products. It is a self-tanner that's gradual. It's an Allure Best of Beauty winner, and it goes on just like a body cream would. So it's super easy to put on. You don't need a mitt. You don't need
any of that.
Exactly. This right here, this highlighter, is one of Elena's absolute favorite products because it adds a little bit of highlighter to your cheekbones without interfering, without being overpowering, without looking like, you know,
and it
going
rolls
to a
on
concert.
too.
Yes, it goes on so
easy.
smoothly and beautifully. The scents are also magnificent. They're really known for their scents in their body products. All of this slashed in half. An incredible deal starting at $12.
Wow, that's great.
All right.
Oh, the hummingbirds.
Bring
them on.
Yes, bring on the birds. So when you put a resting perch like this next to a feeder, it gives then the birds a place to perch and rest, and it also gives you an opportunity to observe these magnificent birds, keep them close. So we've got feeders, we've got feed, we've got also seeds to be able to help attract more, and plus the swings, everything from pops is slashed in half.
Oh, love it. Fun colors
fun,
too.
Right?
Yes, so fun to watch
And then
them.
finally, for on the go, this is a smart wallet. So just with one click of a button right there, you get instant access to your cards. It also has RFID line protection in here to prevent against skimming. And then this little tracker right here, Rich, you're going to put that in any wallet, bag, and that allows your wallet to become findable at any time with
Always
an
losing
iPhone or Android. So adjust credit card size, like super easy. It's not going to take up bulk. Everything's 50% off.
I didn't know they made these.
I am always struggling getting mine out. Like,
yes, exactly. Thank you, Tori. And of course, we partner with these companies on these great products. You can get them at gmadeals.com. Scan that QR code on your screen there. And coming up, Kaya Gerber and Homer Gear are following in their famous parents' footsteps. Appearing on the cover of Vogue. We'll tell you all about it when we come back.
Welcome back to GMA, live from New York City.
Back here on GMA, time for pop news. Sophie Flay in the house. How's
Hey
it going?
guys, good to see you. We begin this morning with Sir Rod Stewart. He's taken a step back. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer calling off the remaining dates of his tour. His team revealing the 81-year-old underwent a routine coronary stent procedure and will be taking some time to recover for the next 4 weeks. But he does plan to return to performing soon, saying in a statement he's already feeling better and praising his doctors and nurses, saying, quote, "I'm deeply disappointed to miss these shows and sorry to let my fans down, but I look forward to getting back on stage and having a good time with you all again soon." Earlier this summer, Stewart was forced to pause the show after nearly fainting on stage and needed an oxygen tank. Now his team says Rod is doing very well and has returned to his normal daily activities, telling fans with tickets that information regarding affected performances will be communicated by the respective promoters and venues, and we, of course, are wishing him all the best.
Yeah, it's great to hear he's doing well, too.
Definitely, yes. And now Taylor Swift may have given us the hit Cruel Summer, but she is certainly having a fantastic one, to say the least. She got married. I think you guys probably remember that.
Yeah,
something
right.
like
Heard
that.
about that.
Right. And now she is set to be inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. She will be part of their class of 2026 and will be the youngest person ever to achieve that feat at just 36 years old. Of course, she got her start growing up in Nashville, putting out country-inspired hits, including Our Song, before going on to win Grammys for the songs she wrote, including Blank Space, Lover, and All Too Well. Earlier this year, Taylor also made history as the youngest person ever to be inducted into the National Songwriters Hall of Fame. So a lot to celebrate for Taylor.
Yeah, really.
This year.
So that talent of her writing is
So true.
should be celebrated.
Absolutely, Ginger. And it is also not a cruel summer for the show that's heating up our screens, The Shards. Now, two of the stars from the show, Kaya Gerber and Homer Gear, are appearing on the cover of Vogue's September issue. And here's a throwback for you. 34 years ago, their parents, Cindy Crawford and Richard Gere, appeared together on a 1992 cover celebrating their first wedding anniversary. It's a little bit of deja vu.
It really is. Yeah, amazing.
Inside the 2026 issue, Kaya and Homer opened up about their parents' history, and they did have a conversation about it, but really only a brief one. Gere saying, 20 minutes into knowing each other, I was like, should we just acknowledge the fact that our parents were married? And she was like, yeah, cool. And that was it.
Just get it out the way.
Get it out of the way, exactly. Meanwhile, the show debuted in the #1 spot on Hulu last week, and we've got an exclusive sneak peek of tonight's episode. Take a look.
Okay, so that's it then. We just don't care anymore about Rhonda or Matt.
Look, Brett, I'm not trying to speak for the group here, but I'm going to speak for the group. Rhonda and Matt, what's his face?
Kilmer.
They're missing. They haven't been declared dead. Maybe they ran away.
I love this group.
Spicy.
Very spicy. The next episode of The Shards airs tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on FX and Hulu, and you can pick up Vogue September issue on newsstands August 25th. People are just loving this show, you guys.
Yes. Just a great throwback. The music, all of it.
Yeah.
It's layers.
The hair.
Well done.
The costumes.
Yes.
Give us more. And finally this morning, a very unexpected Shabuzi cameo. A bride and groom getting married in Mammoth Lakes, California.
Oh my gosh.
The Owens River Campground. As you can see there, got the surprise of a lifetime last weekend when the Grammy Award winner floated by on a river raft with a lot of friends.
So good.
Was the song played as he floated by?
Man, wouldn't that have been good? Once he reached the happy couple, they asked him to take photos, and he agreed, but he said, I'm not getting off my float.
Yeah.
But he did,
Keep it
as you
real.
can see there, they posted this video, and he did reach out saying congratulations. So a really sweet run-in.
Not on your bingo card, I'm sure, for that bride and groom. But lean into it.
I love how he's leading all the floats, too. Everyone's coming right behind him.
Shirley and Mark Ballas spent decades dancing their way to the top, from the ballroom to Broadway, and now the mother and son duo are judging together on Dancing with the Stars, the next pro. So please welcome them here to the studio.
Great to see you
So good to see you guys. Well, Mom, I got to start with you. Is this a dream come true, dancing with your son, judging?
Oh, 100%. I've always been in love and admired his work, his creativity, and it was a dream that one day I would be able to dance with him as well as just work with him, and I have to say it's been absolutely fantastic. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, it's so special. I love you're emotional right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been great, you know. It's another day at the office for us. We've been doing this since I was a boy, so it's really fun.
Do you remember your first dance with Mom?
I mean, you were dancing with me, what, 2 or 6 months pregnant? So it kind of goes way, way back. So it's hard to pinpoint one memory, but it's been, my whole life, yeah.
And I've known Mark very well for a long time, but I love that the American audience now gets to know you, Shirley, because you're such a stronghold in the dance world around the globe. Can we play a little lightning round with you two?
Yeah.
Okay, why not? Getting to know you. Who is more dramatic?
Him.
I had a feeling those fingers would cross.
Depends on the context.
Okay. And who takes longer to get ready?
Me.
Oh, really?
She's so fast.
Yeah, she's practiced.
I'm never late, never late.
Never late? Okay. And keeping the lightning round going, who is more stubborn?
Him.
Ooh.
It's all him.
Agreement?
Depends on the context.
Okay. Okay. How about this one? What's the one phrase you hear the other say all the time?
Straighten your legs.
Stick to your boundaries, mother.
Those are great.
So who sends the longer texts?
I'd have to say it was
that's
me.
You.
Boundary breaking long texts.
Like paragraphs and paragraphs.
Yeah, I'm a short texter,
You are short. Okay, so who would survive longer on Dancing with the Stars?
Me.
Okay.
Can you keep up with your mother, darling?
No, no one can keep up with you, Mum.
That was the right answer, by the way. Well done.
Not my first rodeo.
Okay, so this leads us into the last one. Who would win a dance-off?
Ooh. I'll give that one to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prove it. Prove it. Yes.
Gotta stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's such a special moment, the two of you. I mean, what have you learned from your mom?
I mean, everything, both my parents trained me as a boy, and my mom has trained many of our pros on the show, from myself, Derek, Julianne, Val, Danny, Pasha, the list goes on. And aside from Dancing with the Stars and Strictly Come Dancing, my mom still works with the elite Latin American dancers in the world. So, this is, she's a master of her craft, and it's awesome to have her a part of our Dancing with the Stars universe now. It's very cool.
Within judging, though, I think you've had obviously opportunities to do that before, but this is like you at a table all the time. She's very good at that and has done that. What have you learned in the judging category?
Well, I think what's cool is that we come from it from different angles. Obviously, my mom has worked with the elite dancers all over the world and has been judging the British version, Strictly Come Dancing, for a long time. I've been a pro on Dancing with the Stars for 20+ seasons now, so I think it's cool for the contestants to have a seasoned judged and then a seasoned pro who's been in their shoes. So you get two types of advice. You get something from a judge's perspective, and then you get something from an actual competitor's perspective. And I know if I was a contestant, I would really appreciate that feedback. That's why I love having Derek at the table, because he's done it. He's walked the walk.
And Shirley, for the fans out there, what can they expect? What do you hope to see with the upcoming season here, The Next Pro?
Well, I think that the next 3 episodes are absolutely scorching.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very interesting, and there's twists and turns. Not that we can divulge much, but it really is quite special, don't you think?
Yeah, they just announced the next round is they're going to have to teach. So someone who doesn't have dance experience. Up to this point, they've all kind of danced with each other. They've shuffled around partners, or they've danced solo. This next round is where it gets
in a short
serious.
space of time to teach
real
them.
test.
This is a real test. As you know, you've been there.
He had to deal with me.
We had fun. We had fun.
I said we bring back Ginger.
Ginger's great. We
Shirley,
had a blast.
so good to have you with us. Congratulations. So good to see you guys. And Dancing with the Stars, The Next Pro, airs Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Pacific on ABC and streams on the next day on Hulu and, of course, on Disney Plus too. And guess what? We're going to reveal the entire cast of Dancing with the Stars Season 35 right here on Wednesday, September 2nd.
Mark those
calendars. Wait for that, right?
It's coming up.
Coming up. And Chef Anthony Vitolo is here with a classic Italian dish that's perfect for the summer.
Molto bene.
Favorite time of the morning here. We are back now with one of our favorite New York chefs, Anthony Vitolo from Amelia's Bellato and Vitolo Restaurant in Fort Lauderdale at the Conrad Hotel, serving up classic Italian favorites. And this morning, Anthony is showing us the perfect summer bite, and he even brought some dessert as well. Chef Anthony,
nice
great to
cannolis.
see you.
Thank you.
Good morning to you. You're going to put me to work
Put
here.
you to work. So
Chicken Milanese here.
Chicken Milanese. So we do our breadcrumbs, right? We have homemade breadcrumbs. So we got panko untoasted.
Okay.
We put that in the bowl right
and I'm
there.
doing all of it or a little bit?
All of
this whole thing.
Yep,
Okay.
because this is going to be the breading, right?
Uh-huh.
So now we have a little salt, do a little pinch.
Yep. A little
Okay.
razzle dazzle.
Perfect. Some pepper.
Bam.
And then we have garlic powder, onion powder. Beautiful. All right, now throw all the cheese in there.
All the cheese.
There you go.
All the cheese.
Now we got, throw all the parsley.
All the parsley.
All right, so
okay.
now we mix it.
Yep.
Right? So that's going to be this breadcrumb. So that's what we're going to wrap our cutlets in, right?
Yep.
So we're going to salt, pepper this chicken, right? We want to season everything. So now you're going to take
nice
the tongs,
and thin.
put it in flour first, right?
Okay.
And this you could do with your hands, but one at a time. I don't want to get you
That's
dirty.
right.
You know?
Yeah, good call.
So then
Good call.
Other side as well.
Other side,
Beautiful.
right?
Shake a little bit of the excess off.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Beautiful, right? Now you put in the egg wash.
There we go. Give it a bath.
All right, both sides,
We'll
right?
Bathe it out.
Beautiful, beautiful. Make sure
Yep.
it's all coated.
Okay.
And then you put it in the breadcrumbs, right?
Got
Those
it,
breadcrumbs
okay.
that we just mixed.
Bam.
Boom. Perfect.
Yep.
All right, now we got to turn this.
Turn this?
Yep. And like at home with your hand, you just want to pound it down, right?
Okay. All right. All right.
So take this right here.
Yep.
And throw it in this pan of oil.
Okay.
Nice and
You
hot.
trust me to do
Yes,
this?
I got
Wow.
you. So
it's
you
a lot
want
of
it
trust here.
away from you.
Yeah.
'Cause if you
Yeah. Okay.
Come towards you.
Don't
you're
put
gonna,
my face next to
you're
the
gonna
boiling
splash,
oil like I
okay?
just did. Okay.
So right now we have a nice chicken cutlet that we have
Now
already,
that looks
right?
pretty. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just tell the people that's the one I made.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So we'll put in this plate. Usually you want to have a paper towel to take the excess oil off, right?
Yep.
You don't want a soggy chicken cutlet. So here we have a nice arugula salad.
And you were saying too, if you're a little nervous about frying, there's another way you could make
So you
this.
could
if you
bake
want to,
this
right?
at 400 for about 12 minutes in the oven,
Okay.
right?
Got
Flip it halfway through, make
Okay.
sure each side is nice and crusty, and then you could also use gluten-free breadcrumbs if you have a gluten allergy, right?
Excellent. And so this is the arugula. This is where the beauty comes
Yes,
into
so
play.
this is the arugula salad. So we got good extra virgin olive oil,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
You want to throw in some balsamic?
Sure, there we go. Whole thing or
Okay.
just a little?
No, throw it
There we
all
go.
in.
Oh,
Right?
oh,
So now toss that up a little bit like this, right? Now you have the tongs here.
Yep.
Mix that up a little more.
Yep.
Beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful.
See, I know what I'm doing. I'm doing it.
Now
I got this.
top the milanese.
Okay.
Right, we're gonna create here. Beautiful,
Okay,
beautiful.
okay,
So now over here, we got some nice Parmigiano
Yes,
Reggiano,
we
right?
do.
So we're gonna let it rain.
There we go, all day.
Okay. And now over here, we're gonna make it beautiful. So we got a little balsamic.
Oh, there we go.
Gotta make it sexy, right?
I like it. I like
Okay,
it.
beautiful. So that's the milanese. Over here, we got the finished milanese. Now, we got dessert.
Dessert time.
Okay.
Cannoli.
We got cannoli.
Holy
I'ma put you to
cannoli.
work,
What do we
right?
got here?
So we got a pastry bake here. You
Okay.
want to take half, cup like this,
Okay.
rest it on your shoulder.
Over the top.
You want to do half at a time.
Rest it on the shoulder?
Yeah.
How heavy is this thing?
Nah, I mean,
Okay.
it's not heavy. So you want to fill one half
Yeah.
and then the other half.
Okay.
Because you don't want to empty cannoli, right?
Yep,
So now
yep.
your
Here we
turn.
go. I'm going to rest it on the shoulder.
There you go.
Mhm.
Squeeze it halfway through.
Hold it. Good. There
to
we
get
go.
the cream
There we
out,
go.
you know?
Okay, all right. Now I got it right.
There you go, half. See? Now you flip it over on the other side. Fill it up.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Look at that. That's not bad.
Perfect, right
okay.
there. And now we're gonna make it rain again.
Okay.
With some powdered sugar. And then over here, we have pistachios. You can put pistachios, you can put chocolate chips, literally whatever you want to top it off with, you can top it off with it.
And our team is tasting everything down there.
Everything's good,
What's the
guys?
verdict?
Thank you, Chef. Makes
Oh,
it
of course.
sing. It's so good.
Thank
Right?
you guys, thank you.
Absolutely, Chef Anthony.
Thank you so
Truly
much for your help.
appreciate it. Of course,
course.
you can get these recipes on GoodMorningAmerica.com.
Oh, we're so stuffed. Well, thanks so much for watching.
Have a great day, guys.